I think I'm gonna go ahead and
Eric, I don't have sound. Can you come and remedy that, please?
Here's Eric.
we can
Nice to
hear you.
Where's Eric?
How
Yeah, we can still listen.
do you mute somebody?
Hello. Uh-oh, what happened? Can't hear anything.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. Hey, I'm Sonia Lang, the co-president of the Community Council. And welcome back from our summer break. I hope you guys had a good summer so far. I guess it's not quite over. We can feel the heat, right? So I'm gonna start out with meeting minutes, posted at the Rolando website, okay? This is also being recorded. The video is on the YouTube channel. Okay, our Rolando Park YouTube channel. You can go to rolandopark.org and get the link to the videos. Okay. I'm gonna start out with dues and memberships. Right, so for September, we had 18 renewals, 9 new members. Okay. Dues today, $324. Donations today, $578.26. Okay, so what we're gonna start with is our community announcements. I'm gonna start with Bettina.
Bettina from Redwood Village, and it was a little challenging to think back of everything that's been going on for the past couple of months. It felt like a busy time, but I think the most exciting thing is tomorrow evening at Eastern Area Planning Committee meeting. We're going to get a Streamview Drive phase 2, final design presentation from the city. So pretty excited about that. We had an amazing dumpster day. We had 3 dumps on Streamview Drive also. That went really well. That was our 3rd one for the year, and we'll have 1 more before the end of the year on Streamview. I know Lynn will talk about this, but we're going to do a joint cleanup this Saturday on University Avenue, meeting at Party House. The sewer upgrades on Boren Street are almost 90% completed per the project manager for the city. And I think he's right, because the construction is not as much, even though we still have all those vehicles blocking the road. And I got a notice from Roberta today about a water shutdown scheduled for September 11th, Rock Street, 60th, and Marin. So if you live on those streets, it'll be from 9 to 5. All I have.
Well, thank you, Bettina. Next, we'll have Lynn speak on Rolando Park.
So just going to follow up. First of all, this was about 80 slides till this afternoon. I managed to get it down to about 40 for tonight. So I just want to start off always by thanking our volunteers. We had a cleanup on June 7th. We were joined by Congresswoman Sarah Jacobs. This was in the Redwood Village side. And we just move this out of the way. We did a cleanup of the parking lot in preparation for our movie in the park on July 26th. Probably the best turnout we've ever had for a cleanup. We had 20 people there. 10 of them were kids because the principal helped us get the word out to our school families. So it was really a great cleanup. August 9th, we had Streamview Dumpster Day. So thanks everyone that participated in that. And yesterday, we have a small informal cleanup group that is working around the Pocket Park, AKA Rolando Park Gateway now. In an hour yesterday, we cleaned up all the way from the park down to Judy McCarty Way. It is incredible how much better it looks already. Someone apparently though was there on Saturday and did some help for us because we found a bag, said it looked, oh, somebody's been helping us along. So we don't know who it was. We want to thank them, but we'd like to know so we can tote their bag away next time. But anyway, next month we'll be starting to work from Livingston up to Judy McCarty Way. We are trying to get that side of the street cleaned up before we have our ribbon cutting ceremony on October 18th. August 9th, we had our 4th annual movie in the park. It's probably the best attended one we've had. We had somewhere close to 150 people in and out. A lot of people came for food and to have the kids play on the jumpers and get their faces painted. By the time the movie started, we had maybe about 100 people left. By the time the movie was over, we had about 30 people left. It was a long movie, but it was a lot of fun. They let us bring our food truck inside because the parking lot was closed. So it was just a nice little contained area. We had a taco truck, ice cream truck, face painting, jumper slide combo for the kids. The principal came and gave away books. Rolando Library, College Rolando Library was there and had a table. So it's probably the way we'd like to see our movie in the park grow as we go forward is to grow it a little bit more each year like this and make it a real community event. I did want to let people know in the community, the PTA has a recycling program. They're taking aluminum cans on Wednesday only. That's their minimum day. So they'll have some bins set up back here in the joint use parking lot. Just from in the morning hours, you can just drive through and put them in the bin. Last year, I think they said they recycled 185 pounds and raised more than $300 for the PTA. So their goal this year is to get to 200 pounds and maybe get up to $350. So it's a good thing if you think about it, first Wednesday of each month.
Just aluminum.
Aluminum only, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to have this up on our website for reference too, if anyone needs it. We do have some upcoming volunteer opportunities. As Bettina said, this September 13th, we'll be on the Rolando Park side of University from anytime from 8 to 10. We're sort of making it flexible for people because it's a weekend. Maybe you want to sleep in a little bit. Come when you can, stay as long as you can. Within that time frame, we'll be locking up at 10 o'clock and heading out ourselves. So this is our last cleanup in Rolando Park on University Avenue this year. We'll be back in Redwood Village in December. If you like to weed that slope, weed that slope. We're working on a project and we'll be working with our school families on this. If you know the slope out in the joint use parking lot, it's been through a bit of a fiasco between the district and the city park department. They had a miscommunication when the park first opened about who had responsibility to water the slope. So consequently, the first year, no one watered the slope. And they replanted it last year. And no one's ever been back to do any maintenance work on it. And so we actually got a approval and a permit from the district to turn it into a community project with our school families. So we're going to take a Saturday and we'll be out there doing a little weeding. The goal is to weed it enough so that the ground cover can start to fill back in and grow. And then probably again in the spring, we'll try weeding one more time. And then we're talking with Groundwork about potentially doing some more planting there. It did have a really nice array of native plants the first year before they all dried out and died. So we might give that a try again. And then last on October 5th, the first Sunday each month, it's just a very informal group. We're just meeting down here at the Pocket Park, AKA the Gateway, for an hour, super casual. I've always got water, bags, just show up if you want, stay as long, again, stay as long as you can. And we just did our third one. The Pocket Park is clean. It's really clean right now. And the church is very clean. So it looks, that intersection looks pretty nice right now. think that's all I had. Oh, no, I posted this and people, please, there's a community recreation needs assessment from the city. And I'll drop this link into the chat room for those of you online. You can also, if you have your camera, shoot the QR code. They're looking at gaps in the recreation needs in the city. And so my suggestion is to, when you get to this question about why aren't you participating in any of the recreational programs listed, is to use the option, I live too far away from where the programs are held. We don't have a recreation center in any of the 6 communities in the eastern area. So you can't walk to Colina del Sol, which would be the closest recreation center. So they need to know where the gaps are, and this is a big one. And I think, yes, Rolando Park Gateway, if I haven't said it enough. October 8th, I've got the wrong date. Yeah, it's the 18th from 11 to 12:30. Supervisor Monica Montgomery Stepp will be there since she was one of our grantees for this project. So she's already confirmed she will be there. And that's it for updates.
Thank you, Lynn.
Mhm.
So we're gonna move on to spin the wheel of appreciation for our
Oh, yes.
volunteers.
Oops, I forgot that one. Okay. So, like I said, we have had,
Oh, there it goes.
oh, so I preloaded the kids in because we're on a roll right now. We've had 45 volunteers so far for our events this year. That's a phenomenal turnout,
Yes.
I think. So I've loaded the kids in here. We have 10 kids, I think, and spin that wheel.
Oh, there it is. It's barely in the green.
Maggie, her brother won last time. If you don't know the Hataways, they're fraternal twins, Maggie and, yeah, so James, was it James won? So this is Maggie that won this time. Thanks, and we have a gift card for her.
She's the one, she won last time.
Was it Maggie? I
Uh-huh.
thought it was James.
No, Maggie won.
Okay, well then we have to respin it. Thanks.
Okay, there we go.
Darn, okay. Okay, that is Peter Rapecki. I know his son, he's from,
That's Michael.
no, that's his, Michael is his son. Peter's the guy from Redwood Village who comes to all of our cleanups. Yeah, he's Australian, so Michael will get a gift card to him.
With the dumpster day.
He always,
The
yeah, he
last
shows
spring
up.
we dropped us.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, one more. All right, and here we go.
Big wheel.
Yeah, this one's a
Oregon.
little longer. This is one is for the adults.
Yeah.
Ah. No Connor Joyce this time. And that is Allison Hoskins. She's a parent. They participated with us on the Xena Canyon cleanup. Yeah, right. So we have a gift card for both of them, $25 gift card. All right, thanks, everyone.
Oh, congratulations to those. Okay.
All right, now we're done. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Lynn, on that one. So we're gonna move on to our public comments on non-agenda items. Ask that you keep them to 2 minutes each. So what I'll do is I'll start with people online. Anybody online have any comments, public comments, non-agenda?
Hi, it's Olivia, principal at Rolando Park.
Hi, Olivia.
I know I didn't make the agenda, but I wanted to announce I've been working with Lynn and she comes to volunteer, but this Friday, September 12th is our first farmer's market. So we are a school pantry host, which means feeding San Diego. uses our site to host the school pantry, and every second every second Friday of the month, we have produce, dry goods that are delivered to our school. And it's been successful to our families, but I would like to extend the invite out to neighbors and others in the community that don't have students at our school site. I'm going to share a flyer with Lynn to post it on RPCC. So this Friday at 8 o'clock, it lasts about an hour. They can enter through our front door, bring your own bag, and then you exit during school hours. So open to all.
That is great news. Thank you, Olivia.
Thank you, Olivia.
Thanks.
Anybody else online before I move to the room? All right, anybody in our
I want to give a huge shout out to Josh. Of course, the one meeting he isn't at. He got the fireworks vendor down on Jeff Street.
all right.
5 years. We
Wow.
worked on that. So, I huge props to Josh, and I'm also working with a couple other patients right now, and Josh and city council and a whole bunch of other people to get some of these other big ones done. So, hold on. No, thank you, Josh.
Yes.
Thanks.
Sorry he's not here.
Okay.
I know.
He's been working very hard on this community stuff.
We'll update them. We'll get them
It
updated
was a big.
on the appreciation. All right, do we have any more?
So I'm Jerry Flavin and this is Debbie Blake, and we are the co-chairs of the new Rolando Park Fire Safe Council. Oh, okay. So Debbie's reminding me that we have flyers on the table and it has our new website, which was created by Debbie. And we're hoping that people will go to our website and give us your email address and get on an email mailing list. So we're starting our projects probably in the next few weeks. We have one house that overlooks Jeff Street, so there's a big canyon wall. And we'll be doing our first neighbor to neighbor cleanup on that property for the lady who owns the property. We're also going to be we're going door to door and handing out the flyers to tell people what a fire safe council is and encourage them to participate. We're putting together a slideshow with a coalition of fire safe councils in the mid-city area. So that coalition has just recently started with the fire department. And one of the primary things we're going to do is try to get a slideshow that the fire department will approve of and that we can do in our own neighborhoods. So we don't put all that pressure on the fire department to always show up. The other thing that we're doing is some of us in fire safe councils, myself included, have been through a certification training to do, and it's a statewide certification to do home ignition zone and defensible space assessments. So if you want, I and a woman from College East have now done 2 of them, and we give you a report with photos. We're using IBHS standards, which are the same standards that the fire department is using to do their home assessments. And you can sign up and get the fire department to do it at a cost of $163. We're doing it as volunteers. I would recommend that you have us do it and then have the fire department come out and you could check us. But we're using the same standards, which are put out by an insurance industry group. The state standards are not out yet, but they will be mandated standards as of January 1, 2026. A lot around home hardening. And let's see, did I forget anything? No, I think that's it. And I brought some show and tell goodies. These are mainly home hardening. So I have a sample of an Ember Safe vent. If any of you have heard about home hardening, one of the first things you want to do is make sure that you have foundation vents, eave vents, and gable vents that are Ember safe. So I have some samples and I have pictures of others. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay.
Anyone else? Non-agenda public comment?
That's my cue. Hi, my name's Audrey. Go by the pronouns her. And I'm a retired teacher. I'm on Medicare and Social Security. I'm a political activist. I'm a lesbian. And I would like to think that if I came, take me away, my neighbors would step in and chase them out of the neighborhood. Okay, so Indivisible is just one of many groups that are working to defend our democracy against the frightening things that are happening in our country. And the good news is there are many ways to be involved. So I have 2 handouts for you tonight. They're on the back table. One is a list of our representatives. If you live in the zip code, there's a list of our representatives, phone numbers, how to get a hold of them at the federal, state, and local levels. And it's important to call them regularly and let them know your concerns or your happiness with them. I'm very happy with Sarah J. What she's doing. The other is a list of resources for activism, which contains many of the ways you can be involved and help us defeat this attack on our democracy. We hold a protest at Pocket Park on the 2nd Tuesday of each month. Beautiful new and improved Pocket Park. And it happens to be this Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. because we want to keep reminding folks that we're in the fight of our lives and we don't feel like waiting till the next big protest, which happens to be on October 15th. So we could even have a Rolando Park contingent in LA. So this Pocket Park protest is really fun because we wave at people, they honk and wave in support. And it's really uplifting. So if you'd like to, I also have a meeting at my home on the 4th Saturday of each month. So we get to know our neighbors and we provide support and important information. And we building community relationships. So come see me after the meeting if you'd like to stay in touch with our group and plug into the info and the actions that we're doing. And I thank you for your time. I mean, you go down on Choice Parkway and see how much better it was. Said that they came, so we came a lot of the trash got. And so it's a lot better. And most of the cars are gone. Except there's a car that's been hit. I can't be moved. It's been there for a week. So hopefully it'll be all soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Right. That's it for our non-agenda items. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our committee reports. We ask that you keep them to 4 minutes each. The first person to show up was asked.
Hi, everyone. My name is Afton. I'm the new point of contact here representing the Office of Assemblymember Dr. Lachey Sharp Collins. I just have a brief update, including our legislative update. The Assemblymember put out a legislative package at the top of the year. Feel free to look at our website for the entire package, but we do have an update on that this week with at this point 3 bills from that package having been passed. And 1 expected to be voted on later, probably next week or the following week. So the first bill from our package I'm really pleased to announce that is passed is Assembly Bill 927. As we know, the school year is starting right now, and this bill extends the inspection period at the top of the school year for school facilities, school materials such as the facility itself. We obviously don't want things like asbestos in our school facilities and materials such as our textbooks. So we announced that was the first bill out of our package that passed. The next bill that passed this last week was Assembly Bill 829. This establishes the California Parkinson's Disease Research Fund. As we know, there's just millions of dollars being rolled back in federal healthcare research funding. And we know it's up to states like ours to pick up the slack on that front. So that's exactly what this bill does. And we're really happy to be expanding research into just such an abominable disease. Next is Assembly Bill 987, which is passed. This protects working families from being taken advantage of by predatory tow companies where they just charge excessive fees left and right. This is one of the lowest income districts in the county of San Diego, so people cannot afford another $200 piece. So we're really happy that that bill has passed. And then we have one bill that's expected to be voted on soon, maybe within the next week or two. Assembly Bill 847. This one's in the Senate right now, and this expands the authority of law enforcement oversight commissions to have a better access to records around their law enforcement agencies, whether it be the sheriff or their local police department. This is the best way to ensure transparency for all constituents throughout the district. Just better access to records, which we don't think anyone should oppose on any front. So we're really happy to see that bill being voted on soon as well. So that's the update legislatively. One other update we have is our Red Ribbon Week. They announced that we ordered 10,000 certificates to go out to school district or to schools around the school district, Southeast San Diego, all the way out to El Cajon. So we're really proud about that, and happy to take any questions if you guys have any.
Any questions for anybody? From anybody, I'm sorry? Online?
Do
I
you-
have a question.
I have a question. Do you know where these assembly member stands on SB 79?
SB 79, so that bill, as you know, has been amended, I believe, over a dozen times at this point, which is far more than we've seen any bill. So I cannot give you an answer one way or another due to how many times that bill has been amended, and because it's effectively a totally different product from what we saw in the beginning. So our member, as am I, still reading up on that bill as we speak due to how many changes. I read a previous version of the bill. I thought that was going to be it, and then it got amended again, and then I have to read the bill over again. So we know it's a very complicated issue. The only group in opposition to that bill at the moment is, I believe, the League of California Cities, which is opposed to it. Even the Building Trades Council was one of the groups that put in support of it this week. So I wouldn't be able to tell you which way, like I said, the assembly on it. That's probably one of the toughest bills to vote on at this point due to how significant the changes have been to its original iteration.
You want to hear from us how we feel about it?
I would love to hear how your guys' feels about that.
I don't want to speak for everybody, but personally, I'm concerned about it because we have already had quite a battle with our local changes on the density issues and where all that density is being placed. It seems that the density is being placed in places and not other places, it's not equitable as far as where the density is going. And it also isn't really making much sense because we have areas that are perfect for density, such as our main corridors here, University Avenue and El Cajon Boulevard. Yet the only places where we're actually seeing the density is on cul-de-sacs that are already full, getting 15, 30, 80 ADUs at the end of a cul-de-sac, et cetera, et cetera. So we're very concerned about the impact that has on our small residential areas that are already.
Understandable. I'm very happy to take that commentary back to the email.
Can I just add too, I think this is another case where the state is really trying to take control of what should be local planning groups issue. It should be controlled by local planning groups, and it's not. We're back to a thing where the state is telling cities how it should be done. I did just hear today the mayor of Los Angeles does not support this bill either.
So that's a concern we hear very often. which is very understandable. The counter argument that's into that is there are many cities across the state. Take Encinitas as an example. It's famous for disregarding any state housing law so that they can keep the type of housing in their generation after generation without having to make any changes in that. Therefore, prices people out of their city. I was one of the kids who grew up there. Can probably never afford to live there again in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So we do understand the concern regarding that. This is where the bill becomes complicated. We also don't want to let cities like that just continuously violate state law and just make their city exclusive to the haves as opposed to the have-nots.
Well, didn't they just say about how this area is the most economically challenged in the county? Or the city? Didn't you guys just say that earlier?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So why is that why should we have more and more housing in this area?
Yeah, I think, yes. I think the issue for a lot of us is not so much the housing itself, but putting that housing where it makes sense and not in illogical places like at the end of a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Where there's only one way in and one way out. And now a fire truck literally cannot drive down that road to put a fire out.
Oh, yeah. I
That's-
remember when they put that in at Colwood, I was thinking,
Yeah.
nobody's getting out of here.
Yeah, and when we do have areas that would be perfect for dense housing, like University
Yeah.
Avenue.
I agree.
2 blocks from a bus stop. I mean, it's perfect. So that's, why we're concerned is because, again, like Lynn said, it's the state deciding, but they don't know what's going on here. They don't
Yeah.
know, the challenges of.
Now, I'm gonna, slow it down because we can go all night. Let's stop there. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the part.
So before, we have several other community reports. If we then want to talk to it after the meeting, I appreciate it because then we'll be here all night. Sorry about that.
We have,
I wanna move on.
8:30 is our deadline.
Yes. Next is Sam Gonzalez. He was next. He's online for us. Hi, Sam.
Hi,
You-
good evening. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, the lighting's kind of weird. I haven't done virtual in a long time. I apologize. I meant to show up today, but I wasn't feeling very well, and the senator would be very disappointed if she found out that I attended while not feeling well. So I apologize for that. But it's good to see you guys. Long time no see. It's been a very busy year, very busy summer. I do have a few updates. I'll try to be quick. I know we have a deadline to meet. So the first update is legislative updates as well. So there are 9 bills that are undergoing the legislative process. I think 2 of them actually passed the assembly and are going back to the Senate for concurrence just today. So that's good news. I'll read off the bill number along with a quick description. If you have any questions, I'm happy to stay and talk about it after the meeting as well. I'll be online here. So I'll start with SB 39, boric acid. That one actually passed the assembly floor today. So that one's going to the Senate for enrollment. If it passes, if everything goes well, it'll go straight to the governor's desk. SB 236, hair relaxers. This one also passed the assembly floor today and heading straight for, I think, concurrence. So we'll see where that happens. SB 437, CSU genealogy. SB 439, California Health Benefit Review Program reauthorization. SB 482, Cal roster. SB 503, medical software. SB 518, Bureau for Descendants of American Slaves. SB 646, metals in prenatal vitamins. SB 764, healthy restaurant meals for kids. Those are the 9 bills that are currently undergoing legislative process. Again, 2 of them just passed the assembly. The rest we're waiting to hear back. If you have any questions on those or other related legislation like SB 79, I'm happy to chat about it as well after the meeting. Second update, webinar. We have a Breaking the Sickle Cell Silence Stories, Signs, and Solutions webinar on Tuesday, September 16 from 5:30 to 7 p.m. This is next Tuesday. If you are interested in this webinar or know someone that's interested, feel free to register online. It's a webinar. You do have to RSVP to get the link. I did send some flyers, and I can check in with Lynn and the chair of the committee as well, just to make sure I have the right emails. But I did send some emails out. I don't know if you guys got them with this information as well. The third update, which I think is probably a really important one, we're going to have our first community town hall on October 16. That's a Thursday from 6 p.m. to 7:30. Sorry, from 6 p.m. to 7:30, not 6:30. I don't know if I said that. The name of the town hall is Aligning State Priorities with Fiscal Realities. So the first 40 minutes of this town hall will be focused on the state budget. A lot of our programs, a lot of our infrastructure, a lot of our legislative bills rely on the budget, health. So the senator will spend a good amount of time just going over how that works and where we're at in that. The last 30 to 40 minutes of the webinar are open-ended, Q&A questions for the community. So if you have any questions related to the budget or other things that you want to ask the senator about in person, this is the time to show up. The location is at Crawford High School, and that'll be at the main auditorium. We do have an RSVP site on our website as well. Again, this is Thursday, October 16 from 6 p.m. to 7:30. Last two more updates. We're accepting applications for YLP, the Young Legislators Program. This is a monthly program for our high school students. So if you know a high school student that is interested in social issues, legislative work, government, I'm sure you know maybe one or two, feel free to refer them to us. We will meet from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at our California State District office in San Diego. That's in Mission Valley. And we'll be meeting for about 11 months, starting next month, October 22nd, all the way through September 23rd, 2026, in which the last session they'll present their bill idea to the senator. So in about 2 weeks, our current cohort is presenting their bill ideas to the senator. So we're wrapping the current cohort up and then starting a new one. So the deadline for this application is the end of the month. So you have about 3 weeks to submit an application or, refer someone to me and I'll guide them through the process. It's a completely free program and happy to share more information about that. Last update is we're actually accepting bill ideas for next year. So if you have a bill idea, like a state law that you want to see come to fruition, or if you have just a high level concept that's well backed up by evidence, research, or data, or your own personal anecdotes, or professional experience, you can go to our website, submit the bill idea form, and we're actively reviewing those thoroughly. So if you have a bill idea that you think is, worth showing to the senator, submit the form online. Our staff here at the district office and in Sacramento will review the form and then we'll present it to the senator. That more information is online. The deadline for that is October 1st. Any questions?
Well, thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, the next person up is Fatima. Hi, Fatima.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's great to be here with you guys. Just a few updates. I know Lynn already spoke about the community recreation needs assessment. I did want to emphasize that it's going to be split up into 3 different phases. And Council District 9 is the first phase. And each phase will span 4 months, and they all include virtual workshops, surveys, interviews, and focus groups, and then also in-person public meetings. So it won't just be a survey, so no worries in case you don't get to the survey or you can't make a meeting. There'll be different opportunities across that 4-month span to participate. And so I'll make sure to send out more details as those dates start to roll out. Residents have until February 28th of 2026 to fill out the survey, and that's already uploaded online, and it will be up until the whole study concludes. But like I said, I'll send out those dates, the public meetings that will be happening, and any focus groups or interviews that will be happening once those dates are finalized. Another thing that I want to flag, more so generally citywide that's happening right now, as we've been covering, I believe it's, I'm already blinking. The Senate bill that the mayor co-sponsored with Senator Catherine Blakespear on streamlining Caltrans abatement process. That is still on the assembly floor currently right now. But something that we have been working on as of this last month was a Caltrans delegate maintenance agreement. So essentially what this maintenance agreement will do, it's a 5 stretch mile of state freeways that run through Little Italy all the way down to Barrio Logan. And essentially Caltrans has granted the city the ability to go onto their private property on freeways and allow them to do outreach and abatement. And we will be getting refunded essentially for the cost of those abatements that we do using city workers and city staff. So far, in the last 6 weeks, we've already cleared 74 tons of trash, conducted 95 abatements, and connected 28 individuals to services and shelters. So again, this has only been 6 weeks, and it is a pilot program, and we hope to expand this agreement to different areas across the city. So if there's any areas that you would like to highlight, again, this is on state right away, so any freeway on ramps or exits that you notice that have seen an uptick in encampments, please let us know. We are trying to work with Caltrans to expand this agreement. It is a pilot program. It's not something that's going to stay here forever, but we really do hope that Senate bill that we are co-sponsoring will allow us to do this statewide. But in the meantime, this is something really good for us. We're one of the first cities to really be able to spearhead this type of initiative. So we're really proud of what we've accomplished in only 6 weeks. So that will be continuing in the next few months as well. Additionally, San Diego Fire Rescue just updated their website. So there is a lot of new information out there for our fire safe councils and any residents who are interested in really just getting to know more information on how to prepare for wildfire season, which is not really a season anymore for California, at least in Southern California. It's more so full-time all around the year. So just be aware that we are updating all of that information, and we have made new investments such as our new brush fire rigs to combat our brush fires. And then we also have incoming fire helicopters to help us fight any ongoing fires that we have here in the city of San Diego. So that means quicker turnaround times when there is a fire happening in the area. And then lastly, I also want to flag that our development services department has moved to Mission Valley. So their entire team has fully started functioning out of that office. So if you have any or you require any front counter or cashier services, please plan to go to the new Mission Valley location. So anything that you need from there will be at that Mission Valley location. Please don't come to downtown. They no longer exist there. They will send you back to Mission Valley. But those are all my updates for today, and I'm open for any questions.
Any questions from anyone? All right. Well, thank you, Fatima. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Our last representative for the evening, Roberto.
Evening, everyone.
I meant to tell Ashley to come on this corner. No, not that corner over. Oh, is it this one?
My shame corner.
Sorry, no, you can. For the mic, because of the mic, Roberto. Come up a little bit closer. Right there, right there. No, you guys online can hear him? He has to be over here by them.
So I was right.
Well, then they won't be able to see him. Oh, that's what I'm saying.
No one needs to see me.
I see him.
We can hear him and see him.
Okay,
Okay,
they can
there
hear
we
him.
go,
Okay,
there.
yeah, go ahead.
There we go. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all again. Roberto Marin. Recently promoted in July to our Director of Community Empowerment. So I oversee all our community engagement activities in the District 9 office. So you'll see me, not just here, you'll see me everywhere probably. So super excited about the role. That unfortunately means I'm gonna have to let go for Long Up Target Village. I'm kidding, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not letting go. But I will be shifting some of my responsibilities to other council reps in the near future. So just stay tuned, but the communities will stay with me. So just keep that in mind. One of the first updates I wanted to provide legislatively is we have 2 ordinances coming to council. One is the hospitality minimum wage ordinance that's coming on September 16th. That is $25 minimum wage increase for hospitality workers in tourism sector. Some examples are folks that work at Echo Park, the convention center, hotel workers, and other entertainment venues as well. We're still working on the details as it remains very fluid. This will only apply to 150 hotel rooms and up. Anything lower, those folks will not be getting paid $25 an hour. And it will also not include folks in small businesses, like, for example, Rolando Park. This is not a mandate for all workers, just keep that in mind. So if you want information on that, please let me know. I'm happy to provide that after the meeting. Our second one, which is one that I'm working on, the council member, is our immigration ordinance. It is our due process and dignity ordinance. A little bit about that is we are going to be taking some bold action. This administration is lawless and careless right now. So what we're trying to do is at the local level, reinstitute our authority and make sure that folks feel welcomed in their safe spaces. One of the initiatives in here would require all corporations and our folks that do business with the city to comply with the dignity and due process ordinance. For example, if Rolando Park were to get CPPS money, they would be required to put signage provided by the city stating their rights, knowing your rights constitutionally, and also in the immigration option. There is a laundry list of what that would entail, but it's a more holistic approach that we believe will work and could work here at the city. It has been vetted by the city attorney many times and other outside legal experts as valid. And so we are looking forward to bringing that item to council September 29th, 2 p.m. session at council. So if you are able to attend or want more information, please let me know. One of the things we are revamping in our community engagement department here in our office is being more present. That comes with our new interns. We have 7 interns. Camilla has been working with Lynn and Bettina. I was out on vacation recently, but we'll be expanding some of those roles for interns and providing support. So, Jerry was mentioning about flying for the Rolando Park Fire Safety Council. If that's something you need support on, anything like that, we're happy to provide interns as long as you just give me like 2 weeks notice. And then lastly, I know we don't have our Taco Man there anymore. It's a long time, but for now, it's not there. So if anything like that happens, we've been seeing an increase in street vending. I don't know why, but just throughout the district. So blocking sidewalks if they're creating hazards, as Lynn mentioned many times. To us, please let us know so we can get on top of that as quickly as possible. And that's about it in terms of updates. Oh, actually, one more. Really important item that got passed today. People have been emailing me about the parking at Balboa Park and at the zoo. I want to make it very clear that the council member has advocated consistently on the record, wanting residents to be free. We put that out there. It's made very clear. When we have accepted this initial proposal, we would like to see residents be exempt from this. That's and volunteers, yes. From the Bridge Club, folks that volunteer at the cottages, and I've heard a lot of feedback. So that's something that the council member really wants to focus on as well, is making sure we take care of our seniors.
So how are you going to determine who's a? Yeah.
That is something that the department, Parks and Rec and parking districts are gonna decide. I don't have that final detail. That's something that he asked. They didn't have an answer, of course, today. So we will try to get that information to you as quickly as possible on how it is. I can't tell you honestly, like how it's instituted.
I have a question. Can your office help us do coordinated pickups for trash? Cleanup?
Yeah, anytime you have any small cleanups like that, just give me a schedule and we'll coordinate with ESD.
And what's the lead time?
The lead time, I would like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing crazy, just as long as you just give me time. And you can email Kano.
Okay. No, I can do it. Okay.
Kano can do it too, yeah.
All right. Because we're sort of shifting the way we're going to be doing cleanups. Coming home in my truck anymore. So.
Yeah, and just so you know, we have a organization called Hands On,
Mhm.
and they provide they basically, if you want to do a mural, they provide paint, all the materials. They provide a community cleanup kits, bags for residents. We've used them for the Mountain View mural that we did, and they were phenomenal. They brought a tons of supplies. That obviously right now with money and budget cuts, it's hard to come by. So I would definitely use them as well if you are interested.
Thanks. Any more questions before we move on?
I have a question on the immigration stuff. Like, since the council member is so supportive of that, what if let's say a resident has an issue and ends up getting arrested, not an immigrant, but maybe a resident that would try to help out an immigrant family in their neighborhood. And go up. And they end up, getting arrested like that person.
So we would depend, say it was on city.
Where's that fall?
Yeah, so say we're at the good example is like, say we're at a Xenia Canyon cleanup, some of it's school district, and then some of it's on the city. If for whatever reason I were to get arrested on that city property, there are certain parameters, basically I would call the city attorney or someone would call the city attorney's office. X, Y, and Z. In terms of a resident, it'd be kind of similar in that sense. It'd be more of like legal aid. But the reason why we're doing the signage is to make it very clear, and also the legal experts argue there's more constitutional ground and legal standing. There is a sign that clearly states that you need a judicial warrant if they, don't abide by it, which they are already doing anyways. But it's just another toolkit in the toolbox. We need decisive
I'm
action.
really worried about red. Or at least happening.
Yeah, and we have materials for Know Your Rights, and the city has provided that on the website, but I'm happy to put that in an email so you can. And it's translated into 5 languages: Vietnamese, Somalian, Arabic, Dari, Parsi, and Vietnamese. 3 of our interns translated all of that. But yeah, Spanish, Vietnamese, and Parsi.
Thank you, Roberta. All right. Gonna move on, so to our main events here, which is update on our infrastructure priority survey. So we had our priorities,
Can we do the gateway first?
oh, okay. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do our Rolando Park Gateway update first. Then we will move on to our infrastructure priority survey.
Be in a little. So, let me, I posted these on our social media just in case people forget what this park looked like 3 years ago. So they actually trimmed the palm trees last year. After waiting 2 years, I filed to get it done. I think several people did. So it has looked pretty sad for a really long time. This is what it looked like on August 19th.
Right there.
Food truck.
I know the taco truck went.
Yeah, so as a little,
Right?
as a little, yeah, as a little backstory. So as a little backstory, we did ask, let them know that we're doing construction on that property, and that, there would be no more room for it on that corner. So fortunately, they agreed and moved on so we could beautify our pocket park.
Weren't quite willing.
Yeah.
Which
They
is why this
hesitate.
is August 19th, because we actually talked to them 3 weeks earlier. than
Right.
this. And they had a hard time believing that we met it.
Right.
And so they actually did come back and they were
construction
asked to
itself,
leave.
yeah.
They set up at Chase Bank and were asked to leave. They set up at the church. They were asked to leave. And I want to just introduce Devon here, because Devon is a small business owner. And one of the people who's impacted by ordinances, where a small business owner is impacted by an illegal business. And it impacts someone like Devon, who's doing everything right. He owns a small restaurant. He gets all of his permits. He gets his egg certification. And yet, because the ordinance is not being enforced here at the time, and we understand the reasons why it's not, but it puts us and it puts our small businesses in a very precarious place. You buy a $3 taco at the taco stand, and by the way, this is not a sidewalk vendor. Development Services came out and said, this is not a sidewalk vendor. They're too big to be a sidewalk vendor. And he said, besides that, they're trespassing on city property.
Ever was it the people when I'm coming around at night and they're crossing the street?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That would be very unpleasant for them and.
So what, during the course of getting our permits for the work they were doing, Development Services came out. We explained what was going on with them. And they said they would work with the police department to address it if they came back. Fortunately, they did not come back. And I know because they left the Chase Bank and they've left the church now. I don't believe they're coming back. They were down on Federal Boulevard last week for a single day. And they seem to have set up in front of Burroughs and Fry's, which probably wasn't a good move because they left there after one day. So I just want to acknowledge that this has a real financial impact on small businesses. We're a small community. You spend $3 on a taco, and that might be $3 out of a small business in our small community's pocket. Instead of coming back into our community, that we don't know where that money goes because they don't have a license, that's tax-free money for somebody. So thanks, Devon, for coming. I know you've been quite vocal about.
You know, it's been a couple of years actually, a long time. Sort of one vendor, the two, the three, the like 8 of them at one point at Chase Bank. They were on pizza, hot dogs, snack, fish churros. Whatever you can imagine, they were selling it. It's been a couple of years. Literally killed the business at nighttime for a lot of us. Just like all of rows of fries, Rubio's, all those. A lot of people have heard of that. From one place to another, even me, I drive around almost every night to see where they're at.
Well, that makes two of us.
Last time we were at Chase Bank and the week after they went to the church, as they were setting up, I happened to drive by that area. I pulled over, I put my window down. I just yelled at them, "Hey, this is private property, get out of here." They all looked at me like I was crazy. They grabbed my phone. They looked at me, "Hey, leave right now." So this packed stuff and started leaving. That's why I went to Burroughs and Fry's for like 3 days and they got kicked out. But yeah, it hurt a lot. I took an hour off from the night business, just pulled down a little early, just was slow. Yeah, it was crazy.
So in this instance, hopefully, they're gone. We can go back to normal and people can go to our local businesses, as you say.
What's the best thing we could do? Like, I drive around and see them again. What can I say? We got in trouble. You know, like,
Ask them if they got a health permit.
oh, they don't. I don't.
And if they say no, then file a complaint with the County of San Diego Department of Environmental Health and hold them accountable. And talk to your elected officials on the county side. Additionally, the city has their little enforcement standards they can do. That's out there, but you gotta come from multiple directions. And the key thing with an unpermitted facility, whether it be a cart, a van or whatever that it is, if somebody becomes ill, it's very difficult to trace back what caused the problem.
Yeah.
And that leaves a lot of people at risk, and that's unacceptable.
Okay, well, thank you. So we're gonna get back to our good news here. It's our Rolando Park Gateway.
Well, no, this is actually the day after. And those are crows down there eating food scraps. And this is what it looks like today, in case you haven't been by.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. I want to give a lot of credit to the groundwork landscape designer, because one of the issues we talked about when we did an on-site meeting with the city and talked about the landscaper company. And we talked about the issues about this truck that was just driving right onto the lot. And so those are swales around the edges. There's decomposed granite swales. And Cheryl actually placed all of our boulders very strategically that taco truck would never be able to back up just across Racine like he was doing and back right into that lot, because there are boulders all along the swale. It would be impossible. Plus, we now have 5 new trees there. He did actually hit the sign. I noticed that first day we were out.
Well, I also think that too, people won't be so much cutting across
No.
the space also, maybe kicking up all the wood chips and things.
So the only thing we'll be adding, I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to have a monument sign there by the end of this month. Again, we had a pre-site meeting last week with the sign contractor, groundwork and city engineering and traffic control, because traffic control has to come out and make decisions about the sight line for everything. So the sign is in the works. They'll be out and stake the spot sometime this week. The sign itself is mostly fabricated at the shop. They pour the base. It's got 2 posts for each end, and then 4 guys come out and pick it up and lift it over the posts and set it down. So if it's ever damaged, it can be repaired. They're putting an anti-graffiti coating on it for us because I think we would know that that could easily happen where it's located. Yeah. So it took them literally 15 days to do all the landscaping. It was pretty incredible. If you go to our website, if you're not on social media, we're on Instagram now, Facebook, posted on Nextdoor. It's also on our website. So you can go and look at the progress. We documented it every few days just so you could see how it went. But it was really so fast. It was pretty amazing. And so what we have now, 5 trees are in. We'll have our monument sign in, and we will be having our ribbon cutting ceremony on the 18th, 11 to 12:30. And we'll be using the church parking lot legally. Thanks. So I just wanted to say another thing, this project is not just about looking good. There's really an environmental impact, which is one of the reasons Groundwork wanted to partner with us on this. Half this money came from a foundation that really only does environmental projects. And so the way they removed all the invasive plants, those got drought tolerant native trees in. Next year, when we get a little bit more money, we will look at doing some native plants and shrubs as well, but not right now. But those decomposed granite landings that we have there and those swales, they sort of filter that water before it goes into the stormwater drain. So their estimate is that it's going to be somewhere between 40,000 to 55,000 gallons of water annually that get filtered before it goes into the stormwater drain. So anyway, yeah. It's not just pretty. And that's all I have to say about that.
All right. And so before we move on, I'd like to thank Lynn. She took, I mean, we wouldn't have this without Lynn.
No doubt.
No doubt. She put in a lot of time to get this done, and we're very happy that she did it, right? Thank you.
We started out about 2.5 years ago in a conversation with Groundwork about why some communities north of the 8 or even north of University have monument signs that are maintained by the Park and Rec Department, like Rolando, and why the one in Redwood Village, like ours, is not going to be maintained by Park and Rec Department. Ours is supposed to be maintained by the Transportation Department, and I think you can tell they haven't been out in 15 years, except they turned those trees. So it sort of came down to a question about community equity and doing something where we could transform this space in a native way, using all native stuff and, you know, have a positive impact on our environment and for our community by finally having a monument sign here. I do know some people who brought it up like more than 10 years ago. And so we've been sort of chasing this for a long time. I did have a guy on Nextdoor last week try to take credit for it. He said he came to a meeting 2 years ago and suggested it, and said, wow, look at that. But it really came from community voices. It just, a lot of things like this don't happen overnight. It takes a long time to find funding for it. Even we're lucky Groundwork did all of the design work for us pro bono. And they just sort of saw, I kept saying, oh, this is making me so tired. But they stuck with it because they see this as being able to leverage this experience and do it for other communities. So it's good for everybody. Thank you.
I know that when Redwood Village was Darnell and then it became Redwood Village, that sign went up fast.
It seemed like it went up fast, didn't it?
It really did, but I know, but it seemed like it, I was like amazed.
Yeah.
Coming up, you could see it.
Yeah. yeah, I mean,
I used to live on Meridian, so.
yeah,
like
it did
2001.
take a long time, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Now, next is our update on our infrastructure priority survey. So we're gonna present.
So I'm going to start out if Jennifer and John or Bettina want to say anything, because we all have the same planning group here, Eastern area. So they're, once a year, the city tries to get the planning groups to submit capital improvement projects. These are the same ones from last year, as are most of ours, because the city planning department did not provide any feedback to the planning groups from last year. So how would you know if yours is going through? We did. So most of us did keep them on. We did add one to ours. Which we're gonna walk you through it real quick. And we're looking for a blue-green solution to the Choyas Creek drain channel between Aragon and College. And it's almost emotional to talk about it because we had 57 people last year flooded out as a result of some very bad management on storm drains. So can you see this? So our first request is we're just repeating this again in case people really don't know what this is. This is an outline of this district property. And we are looking at some point when the city has funding to purchase Xena Canyon from the school district. That's 14 acres. And turn it into open space that would be open to the community. Right now that it's private property. There's like 10 feet in, 50 feet wide that belongs to the city, to the Park and Rec department. It's really more for access to get in. If we don't want the canyon to look horrible, we have to get a permit from the school district for the privilege of cleaning it. We did get help last year from Roberto. They pressured the school district and they did bring in Urban Corps. Who came and did some brush abatement, a lot of brush abatement, and cleaned out multiple homeless encampments. I have not seen that level of activity down there in the last year, which is great. Sorry?
Have the ghosts been ruled out?
You'd have to ask Roberto.
Yeah, I haven't, the problem with that is that they're rotating C-wide. So I think they were at like Miramar, like it's, yeah. Yeah, it's a city/county collaboration, so I think they switch up, but I'll try to get some details. I'll be honest, I haven't checked. So I'll get it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, anyway, this is.
How they watch them would be an SDG&E question. Like how they watch. I don't know how they work. Yeah.
We'll put it down to keep on our order, so we'll bring it up next meeting.
Yeah.
How's that?
Right.
but not.
Okay.
This is more of a little aerial view of what that looks like. And so I think you can really see that we could create some nice trails, hiking trails down into the canyon. Can't quite see it right here. There's a little blue dot. That's actually a homeless encampment because this picture is about 2 years old. But it's a nice size space. It'd be a great asset for the community. Here's our next one, which is we're looking for a permanent blue-green solution to keep that clean and clear. If you've never been back there behind the shopping center, it's underground underneath the Croc Center. When it crosses Aragon, it's up above service behind the shopping center. And then on the other side of Rolando, it empties into a stormwater drain channel all the way to College, which is also overgrown. But today, this morning I was out. I shot this picture this morning. This is what it looked like last summer and what it looked like well, not quite as bad, but the problem is we keep getting a lot of invasive stuff that just keeps coming back and back and back. And there's a better solution than just having to try and get funding or get stormwater to keep coming out every single year or well, in this case, it's been 10 years since they've been out. We don't want to see flooding anymore. We don't necessarily even want to see concrete channels if we don't have to. Someone emailed me after the flooding, when they first started cleaning it up last year before the flooding, and he said, you know, I grew up in this neighborhood. I used to fish in the creek there.
Wow.
And it's so hard to believe now, given the homeless encampments and all the pollution that are there. But at one time, that was a place, you know, kids would go down and fish during the summer months. Yeah, yeah.
Don't even get me started on that weirdo house without the wet.
Yeah, well, afterwards. One of our other priorities is we want to see completion of continuous sidewalk. And here's why. First of all, this has actually been on the Eastern area's priority list since 2010. We're from Livingston to Judy McCarty Way now, which is less than 20%. In the works is the next phase, which would go from Judy McCarty Way to Meridian. But from Streamview and Billman down to College, down to University, we don't have sidewalks on either Redwood Village or Rolando Park. So if this is a major transit corridor, as it should be, how are people going to get to transit on University without just traipsing through? If they don't have a car, they'd be walking. And so they are crisscrossing across neighborhoods instead of being able to have a direct route to get to.
The other thing I've noticed, unfortunately, is people are using the bike lane. Walk. And it's very dangerous. People fly down that street and up that street. And it's very dangerous that these people are walking on the bike lane because there's no sidewalk. There's no other way to get down there besides a car or, as Lynn said, cutting up through the neighborhood, which is still dangerous because there's no sidewalk up there. So they're walking down the street on this side of, on this east side of College. So it's just a dangerous,
On the west side too.
unfortunate,
Yeah.
you know, way to get down there at this point. So I think it's, like Lynn says, very needed because to get down to your corridor where you're trying to get your public transportation, it's hindering that. So
Somebody gotta go.
I would also add to projects like the bonus ADU program, like those 15 that are at the end of Boren. That actually got through because it's in a standard development area.
TDA.
Yes, a TDA, which means 1 mile from transit as the crow flies. Right. There is no direct route from Boren to get out to College to get down to University. So, but as the crow flies, it's within that mile. So a project like that did get approved, and that's not, we really don't want to see projects coming up unless we have sidewalks.
The rules apply for building, but not for residents.
Yeah. So this one is also come up. This is the corner of Rolando and Vista Grande. Most of us are familiar with it because it's a nice wide, it's a walking path right now, which has actually been, the construction company is using it to stage their materials right now. But we do not have a sidewalk there. When you come around the corner onto Rolando, you're stepping out into traffic. So I advise you not to do it at between 7 and 9 in the morning. It's very dangerous. And last sidewalk that people have asked about is continuous sidewalk from Livingston to Waite Street. It's broken up, as you can see by the red line. There's a little bit here, a little bit there, but once again, you're walking, you don't have a safe place to walk. If you're a walker, you can cross over in some places to the La Mesa side. But it's not a lot, it's really not a lot of sidewalk to put in to finish this off as well. Okay, so those are the priorities we turned in. Now the planning group as a whole also submitted 4 based on needs of more than one community. And in other words, like a tree canopy on University, we kept on, that was on from last year. Permanent parking solution for the College Rolando Library. Prioritize completion of undergrounding in our Eastern area communities, because all of us have maybe 1/3, 40% done. And for us, it's been 15, almost 20 years since that was done. We have no idea when the city will ever finish the rest of it. And the last thing that
The responsibility of the owners,
for maintenance,
the residents,
yes.
yeah. So if there's no sidewalk, it's because the residents didn't put in.
It was, you know, sort of optional back in the 50s. Someone told me that at the time, they could get one installed for $300 and their dad thought it was too much money. So
Yeah,
They
because
didn't-
when I lived on Meridian, I didn't have a sidewalk in front of my house.
Yeah.
Our little stretch into the cul-de-sac, but there was sidewalk up to, you know.
Right. And-
Whatever that street is.
Those were the rich.
One thing I know from the community plan update for the mid-city that's in progress right now, they just issued their existing conditions report this past year. Our communities in the eastern area, first of all, is the least walkable of all the communities in the mid-city area. City Heights, Kensington, Talmadge, Normal Heights, they have sidewalks.
Yeah.
We do not have sidewalks, so we're the least walkable community. And everything that we have means you have to get in your car and drive somewhere. So that doesn't make it a very climate friendly place to live either right now. So the one that did get added this year is a ITS system, Intelligent Transportation System for the College Avenue corridor. It turns out that none of the north-south transit corridors in mid-city have any kind of a coordinated traffic system where they coordinate signal lights to keep the traffic moving. And I think anyone who's ever been out on College between the hours of 1 to 6 to 7, I've seen the traffic back all the way up from the 94 past Billman, halfway down to
All the way down.
Yeah.
and it's because it's just backed up. The lights aren't coordinated or anything. So we think it's a good ask. I don't think it's terribly expensive, but hopefully they can get it in the budget.
They might have that plan to make people go slower.
No, they're already,
No, because they just walk the intersection.
or they just cut through the neighborhood. There's a reason why traffic has increased 300% in our neighborhood. in the
Oh,
last
yeah, I don't go on College ever. That's not.
No.
Yeah, I will literally drive 5 miles out of the way to avoid that 1 mile of traffic.
Right.
To get on the 94, I just go into Southeast San Diego.
Yeah, yeah.
That way.
Yeah.
So we're just going to talk a little bit about the ones that are not advancing. First of all, someone asked for a sidewalk from Celia Vista Hoffman to Massachusetts. They at least want to be able to get to the park on King Street. And this would be a capital improvement project if it was in Rolando Park. Actually 3 different people asked for it. So it's in La Mesa, which means it's out of our purview to do. So I think we might have some new people who don't know our boundaries. I will say the good news is I talked to a contractor about a month ago when I was walking and they were out there surveying Hoffman. They do, and the city of La Mesa is looking at putting a sidewalk in from 69th all the way to Massachusetts. And the very first thing they said was, yeah, this street's dangerous. And yeah, you can't get to the park safely. So somebody brought it up. And so if anyone is new here and doesn't know our boundaries, it's University. You can get this map on Google. 69th, because it does jut around, down to Livingston, which is adjacent to the 94, and College all the way down to University. That's our boundaries.
The street signs, see.
Yeah.
La Mesa. Or it goes trash cans.
Right.
Or 69th Street, they have trash on both sides of the street.
Yeah. So other things that people asked about are not capital improvement projects either. Brush abatement, cleanups, those are not capital improvement projects. Someone said over by Target, it's all kinds of weeds and looking bad. And yes, Target is in Oak Park. Once again, people might not understand. Repave Celia Vista, totally get this one because it's at a failure rate. We talked about this in April. So again, I think someone was probably suggested by someone who was not at one of our meetings because this was submitted to Roberto in April. But as we know, with the budget cuts, it's not on the list to be done this year, next year. Okay. Some people, we specifically asked for locations. And if you can't say, if you say you want speed bumps or you want roundabouts, you really do need to tell us where that would be. And I did try to contact this person again and they didn't respond. So it's not a valid question if people don't respond that way. Someone asked about street improvements at University of Rolando. Rolando's already been repaved. Most of it is from the stormwater and water replacement that's done. And University Avenue will be repaved as part of the University Bikeway project. We'll talk about that in a minute. Someone also asked about street lights on Vista Grande, Loma Alta, and Rolando. But all of those streets north of Marlow all got additional street lights as part of the undergrounding we did 15 years ago. The city added approximately 40% more street lights when the undergrounding is complete. That's just part of the project. They add more lighting. I live on Aragon. We had a single street light on Marlow and a single street light down at Celia Vista. And we had 2 more added mid-block on each side. So it is very safe to walk at night compared to what it used to be. Yeah. This is a good ask, but again, it's not a capital improvement project. I agree, Chris. I know you took, we need some businesses on University Avenue that support our community, and we don't have a lot of that now. For those of you who are new, you might not remember that at one time, we actually had 3 grocery stores on University and a Home Depot. Where the Kroc campus is now used to be the Home Depot and a Ralph's grocery store. The Dollar Tree used to be a Lucky grocery store. And at the corner of College and University, I can never remember because it's owned by the Boney family, if it was Windmill Farms or
It was
Boney's at that time, yeah. You know,
And the Planet
that's all
Fitness
gone.
Used to be a food basket.
Yeah, it was a Lucky, yeah, yeah.
It changed to what? Yeah.
Same question was, another ask was about a traffic signal at Benio and University, and that intersection will be upgraded. Excuse me, we're talking, ma'am.
I can't hear you and I can't see that, so can you raise your voice just a second?
I'm about as loud as I can get.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm about as loud as I can get. Would you like to come up here and sit? Okay, anyway, the Benio and University intersection that's going to have a pedestrian enhanced crosswalk as part of the bikeway project. That one's been approved and been in the works now for a while. Someone asked about public restrooms at the joint use park. This was ruled out almost immediately by the park department when we were collecting input for the park design. City parks don't really like, at a joint use park, it would be impossible to get in. So sorry, we just can't. It wouldn't be a capital improvement project though anyway. I thought this was a good question because someone asked about light posts like they have to add a little bit of character. And in town, they have these lights, I think they're called acorn lights. Those lights are very old. They're over 100 years old. And the ones in Kensington, which they tried to preserve, were removed by the city, and they put a substitute light in that conform more with the electrical system. And I think the same thing will happen to the ones in Rolando at some point. They're also 100 years old. One suggestion that we might consider, they make some pretty cool solar street lights. Communities might consider doing that. They can go on your residential yard, in your front yard, as it couldn't be out in the street. But if people wanted to work together on that to do it for a block, it's just an idea or a suggestion. Somebody asked about public art, some murals. And I know that Roberto brought this up a few months ago about trying to help us find a place where we could do some murals in the community. So we'll hold your feet to the fire on that one.
Just tell me when.
Now. Let's kick something off this year. All right. Someone asked about a storefront, police storefront close to this area, and I did talk to Josh. There is already a storefront, a multicultural storefront in the 5300 block of University. That's too close. We're never going to get one here. But Josh had a really good idea to have a little bit of presence here. And that's if we can find a church or another location here to provide a break room for the police. Someplace where they can go, they would have access to a bathroom, maybe a table where they can sit and work on their reports, take a break. And he said the church up on College actually has a Keurig coffee machine for them. So they have a place where they can have coffee, you know, use a bathroom, write a report. And if we can identify that kind of space here, we would have a little bit more police presence, you know, make it, I like the idea.
Yeah.
So I think, sorry. Devon's, yeah. Devon's got a pretty small space.
And,
Oh,
I think, Lance, they open in that coffee shop or that's never gonna?
They brought in cabinets. They're sitting in the middle of the floor there. I don't know. We'll talk to them if they ever open. I like Rex, yeah. Somebody asked about more trees. I do know there is no free tree program this year from either the city or SDG&E. I just want to say our community partner, Groundwork Choice Creek, is doing free tree planting. And I'm going to drop this in and I'll put it up on our website as well. They've got a form, interest form, and they will contact you. They're doing it in groups. They think they'll be doing a few more at the end of this year and then again in the spring. So there's still opportunities if people want free trees to get a free tree.
In the groundworks program, I believe you can also put the trees in the backyards and whatnot.
Yeah.
Whereas one of the other programs, it's all up front.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because I got my free tree from the city, but it had to be,
Yeah.
you know,
But
where it
groundworks
provides
still-
a public, good,
Yep.
yeah.
And I'm not sure, I think they also might have said you could get a fruit tree or something.
Yeah.
And Groundworks will also plant the tree for you.
Yes.
It's not that easy to
Yeah.
plant a tree
Better.
here shortly.
And so I'm just also going to close out with some, because we did get some stuff. It's not even anything to look at for. They're just complaints, folks.
Right.
And it would not be a survey in Rolando Park if someone didn't bring up Joel R. Which it's grandfathered in. I do not know if we'll be able to get rid of it if we change the zoning on University Avenue. Sonia and I gave our input to the community plan update team last year about needing to change zoning on University. We don't need any more auto body shops. We don't want to see any self-storage units going in here. And there is in fact one going in across from University Square.
Perfect place for housing.
Yeah. So part of this we easily can agree with. Our section of University doesn't look that great, but it's not in our purview to be able to change it. So I'm sorry about that. So that's it.
Right?
Questions, comments?
We have a couple of minutes. Any questions or comments on any of the priorities or?
They want to talk about the house.
All right, talk about the house.
Talk about the house.
That's like a train thing over now, next to that.
Last update thing I gave Lynn was early August, is that correct? Or late July?
I tell you, yeah.
Honestly, at this rate, it's the city attorney needs to act on it. That is more of a city attorney. They're the ones that go after that house. I want to say the problem is he owns it, and not that that's the problem, but it's a lot harder to get someone out of that versus where he was prior in the college year, which he was renting. A lot easier because they were just landlord eviction. I don't know what that process looks like, but I have a conversation with the mayor's director of community engagement. You know, it's been a year and a half, it's like nothing going on.
Can I ask a question?
Rain thing, you know, and it's like they put the fence up and they put their cars there and that, I don't know what they filled that in. And that's the major flood.
Yeah, I love it.
So a question, is there any monetary consequences for it? Meaning as in citations or?
I believe so, and.
I mean,
since
because
the
if you,
city attorney,
if you
yes.
just keep hitting him with citations and he's not making money.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a legal question that could be posed. I know they could do it known as a vacancy or something like that. I've seen that twice. That basically would, that's fines, monetary.
Keep hitting him with the money and maybe eventually he'll just decide
Yeah, it is, it's a pain in the butt. Trust me, it's annoying. I'm trying to figure it out for y'all.
Where are these houses?
It's on Rolando's.
Vista Grande, and
Vista Grande.
right on the
He's
intersection.
getting a business door with all his cars around the street, all the nice little.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I thank everybody for coming today. We hope to see you next month. What's our, agenda, what's our, presentation for next month?
Next month, Sandag will be here. There'll be representatives from Sandag to talk about the University Bikeway project, which is starting at the end of October. So gird your loins.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a
Please
long
tell your
road.
neighbors. Please tell your neighbors, like legit, we want a lot of people here, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So, did you have something else?
No, that's it.
All right. So we're gonna wrap it up. Our representatives here, do we still have anybody? We still have people online. We'll start wrapping it up. I don't know if anybody had any additional questions while we close everything down, but.
Street view, the final design is tomorrow, so if you live in Redwood Village,
We've been,
please go to the Eastern Area Planning Committee meeting tomorrow at 7 p.m. at Teen Challenge. Please go, because that project is looking great, but we need to push the city even more
Okay.
to get to the finish line, so please go.
thanks.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody, and we hope to see you next month.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Devon. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's good.
To help out one.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
Right? Anybody online want to talk about or anything? Good, go. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, yeah, we talk about like a template at all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh, yeah.